So this information session is being recorded for those who were not able to join us, and perhaps they can catch up later, or if you want to reference this recording at a later time, if you missed something or have any other questions. But thank you all for being here. Thank you, alumni. Really appreciate you for stepping up and offering your time to share with us about your experiences. So this is a very casual, this conversation, this discussion. We're here to essentially answer any burning questions you might have about the upcoming programming that we have. Those questions will be answered by me, but about the actual experience and about the approach, those can be answered by our fellow alumni that are here joining us today. So with that being said, let's get things going here. So I know that there are 3 new faces here. Would love to hear from you all. If you're able to show us your face, your video, that would be fantastic. It makes this whole thing more organic. And if you can introduce yourself to us, that would be great. And that's how we can get started.
Alrighty. Hey, I'm Graham. I'm industrial designer, currently down in South Carolina. But between jobs, I have a background in pool toys and power tools. And yeah, was interested in hearing more about this. I've done some sessions before, but was interested in kind of seeing how to do it with a full-time job.
All right, thank you so much. All right, who else wants to go? I have 2 more people here. Layla and Yerim.
Hi, I can go next. Sorry, my camera isn't working, but I'm Yareem and I'm based out in San Francisco. I actually just moved out here from Chicago, and I'm working in mechanical engineering right now, mostly in the CAD space, but really interested in industrial and product design. So I would be interested in the first cohort, I think.
Awesome, thank you so much.
So hi, I'm Layla. I'm an industrial design student at UIC. So I know my way a little bit around industrial design already, but I'm just more interested in learning more and getting more hands-on experience when it comes to this field, as well as see how the experience would be working with a team or individually.
Fantastic. Thank you all for introducing yourselves. Excited to help you here and kick things off. Hopefully you're part of our upcoming offsite cohort. So with that being said, I'd like for the alumni to introduce themselves and tell us who you are and where you're from.
I'll kick it off. Hi, everyone. My name is Ruta. I am based between Poland and the UK, traveling a lot. And my background is in mechanical engineering, but through Offsite, I've been trying to break in more into the industrial design field. And yeah, I'm currently freelancing and designing sex toys. So that's me.
Thank you so much. Who is our next victim?
Oh, sorry, and I should probably add, and I did cohort 2, so kind of any, specific awesome. Questions.
All right. Rachel, would you like to go next?
Sure, I can go. My name is Rachel. I did cohort 2 this past summer, and I'm in the Portland area. I went to Iowa State University and I have a degree in industrial design, but I'm still kind of looking for opportunities out here on the West Coast. But yeah, that's me.
All right, thank you, Rachel. Andy.
Hi, I'm Andy. I'm from the Philippines, so it's like F o'clock here. It's like 1 in the morning. Hello, time zone gaming. Yeah, so I did cohort 2 in summer 2021. Yeah, it's 2021 summer. And then I also took part of the recent offsite electives, which was also like really fun. It's like a bite-sized version. So that was cool. And I'm currently working as a freelance industrial designer, but it's mainly I've been onboarded with a lot of projects. So I'm doing a lot of CAD work, product viz. But it's just really cool because like my bosses now, one of them was my professor in college and he was just like, "Hey, are you working?" I'm like, "No." It's great, wanna work? I'm like, okay. So that's how I got my job. And we do a lot of bespoke stuff. So it's just really not a dull day where I'm at. Yeah. And I'm
Awesome.
an aspiring toy designer, so that's what I'm working towards now. So fingers crossed I get the FIT's program next year. Yeah.
Thanks, Andy, for sharing. And last but not least, Amir.
Hey everyone, how you doing? Glad to join here. My name is Amir. I'm joining from Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm working as an industrial designer. It's been 2 years and a half that I've been working as an industrial designer at a local company here. It's called Lifetime Products. My main focus here is to design the tables and chairs and a play set for the kids. Yeah, I graduated from Offsite from the spring 2022. And yeah, that was a game changing for me. And also, I'm right now, I took the elective class of the form development with Mauricio. And it's amazing class. Any questions?
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Really appreciate you introducing yourself. And last, my name is Hector. If I haven't introduced myself, I feel like I've met some of you already. But I am the kind of the person behind who makes sure that this wonderful community is thriving, and we are connecting all these dots so that everyone benefits. So pleasure to be here, pleasure to meet you, and glad to kick things off. So with that being said, again, this is extremely casual. We're all just having a conversation with each other. Would love to kick things off by answering your questions. So for the prospective students who are interested in being part of Offsite, there are millions of questions that I'm sure that you have. So we'll love to kind of get things started and hear what's on your mind, share your thoughts with us so that we can kind of start helping you, so that you can head in the right direction. So with that being said, I'm going to let the, visitors kind of kick things off and talk to us or share your thoughts or questions you might have, and then we'll kind of get things rolling here.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you could describe the kind of layout of this online course, I guess, and how that kind of works with people in different time zones, people who work full time, and how people are able to still do it all.
That's a fantastic question. That's a great question. Because this program is online, which means that our students come from all walks of life in all parts of the world, which is fantastic that we have a couple of alumni here that can speak to that. So I don't know if Andy or Ruda or even Rachel and Amir can also chime in, because you are not, you're all you're in different cities in the US as well.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah, it's definitely challenging if you want to attend like all classes live, but everything is recorded, and all the kind of lecturers are very understanding. So as nice as it is to always make it in person, because you do have like a really nice community feeling, and just being there in person, I mean online still, but seeing it live still is a great, like I'd say, preferred experience. But with that said, everything's recorded, and if you reach out to any instructors, like to find time to review some of your work or something like that, like they'll be happy to accommodate. So Yeah, if like I get up for my electives at 3 a.m., it is definitely worth it. But I absolutely understand. I've been in those situations where I couldn't when I was doing cohort 2, and I just did everything kind of in 12 hours a day. So yeah, still works. So
Kind of feel rooted there because like I'm in Manila and you have like a 13-hour time difference with Chicago, 14 if it's like DST. I don't know how that works, but I just checked Google. It tells me what time the equivalent would be. But like for context, the classes on our end, because like I know of a bunch of Filipino designers who also took the program, and we'd be up at like 1 in the morning until like 9 or 11 a.m. Like if you wanna commit to that whole like I want to attend everything in person kind of thing. Kind of like what you said that things are recorded. So you can kind of figure out which ones or which classes would fit the times that you're free, and you can just revisit it at a later time, which is really great. Because that's a lot of information. That's like how many classes in one go, right? Like I don't know if it's still 4 for cohort 1, but there's 6 or 7 in cohort 2, and that's like a lot of information, especially if you're like really busy with work or you're studying. So it's something that you can revisit later on. Me personally, I was really lucky that like my job's kind of flexible, so I just work at my own time and at my own pace. So I was able to legit flip my body clock to attend all of the classes live. But not everyone's able to do that. But the way that Hector and everyone else got to set it up is really helpful for everyone who can't make it live also. So it's just really cool that they can accommodate that for everyone.
Yeah, the time schedules and all the time zones and all of that is very complex because we wish we can offer offsite at everyone's perfect time, right? And that's just impossible because our students are coming from all different parts of the world. But I can tell you that it is a very small compromise that you'll have to make, and the benefits and the value that the return is so much greater. And like Andy said, and Ruda, there's some students that definitely had to change their schedule, their sleeping schedule, things like that, and that is just much appreciated. But it is temporary, and again, the return is just the value of it is so big that you will benefit immensely from it. Like they mentioned, classes are recorded. We do have a thriving online community. We use Slack, and so if you do miss something, we highly encourage you to vocalize that so that your classmates can then help you, and we can help you and answer any questions. So that's how we are able to kind of fill those gaps for when it comes to time zones and things like that.
Also, because
Victor.
there's so many time zones, there is
So-
always someone up, which then comes in useful later as well. If you just any time of the day there's an industrial designer who's not asleep will help you. So that's
true.
also useful. Yeah, go ahead, Amir.
I just wanted to add up that the fact that you can set up a one-on-one or like a group office hours with the instructors, even if you can make it to the in-person classes and you just looking through the recordings, you still have the chance to take set up a office meeting with office hours with the instructors to just go through if you have any questions that you would ask if you were in the class online. So yeah, that's also helping because I had that issue. I work I work full time. I couldn't join the whole classes every time live. So there was a couple of classes that I was missing, and then I had the chance, for instance, to catch up with Kat or with Kelly. Definitely, those office hours helped a lot.
I was also going to say that it's really helpful when you have someone like in your class that you can ask for notes on. I took notes on every single class, and I have this huge binder over here of everything that I reference all of the time. But yeah, when you can like actually ask somebody, be like, hey, were you in this class? And then they can have like the live notes too. So even if it is the recording, you still have what was also said in the live class as well. So that was super helpful.
Me actually, it's funny because like I was really terrified of the product vis class. Like he tried to stress me out so much. Like it was really overwhelming because there were so many things going on at the same time, right? Like our cohort had 7 classes instead of 6 because we also had research. So there was a lot of work. And you kind of pick out which classes you really want to focus on so you can get live feedback and then you can just go back to the other ones. So what ended up happening was like I think it was about like week 4 or 5. I was like trying to be like all energetic and like I'm gonna do all of the classes. No, I couldn't. Like I had to accept my limits. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go back to this at a later time. And then I ended up going back to the whole key shot thing, like the productivist classes, I think like a month or 2 months after the program ended. And it's kind of cool because like you can just like go back in the YouTube recording and then you can slow it down if you're like not processing things because there's a lot of stuff going on at the same time. And yeah, like those like what everyone's been saying that you can just ask anyone in the Slack, and there's just most likely someone who knows what you're trying to do. There's always someone for something that you need, even how niche it gets. There's most likely someone there, which is really cool.
Yeah, and like Andy mentioned here in the chat, that all of this is yours for the rest of time. Like once you leave the program, we don't delete anything. This is all yours, and we keep building it. We keep building a library of information, of content, of education for you. Even if you're no longer part of the cohort, like you are still part of the ecosystem and environment that we're building. So every student is involved in what we do moving forward. So that's wonderful about what we're doing here. So awesome. So hopefully that those shared experiences are able to kind of give an idea of kind of how things run here. On our website, you will see, you will see the classes are all scheduled in Chicago time. Because when we have to announce when the classes are available, we have to put some time zone. So we Advanced Design is based in Chicago, so it just made sense for us to keep it in the Chicago time. But with that being said, let's open it up for any other questions here.
So I had a question while you guys are talking. What is the I guess coursework usually like per week, or like how is the schedule usually like per week? I saw on the website that it was showing like specific dates, but what's it like for you guys like every week? How is it? How is like the course load? How is that with balancing like work and everything as well?
Great question. Who would love to answer that? Because not every cohort is made the same. Like Andy said, her cohort had 7 courses, which were the max that we've ever done. Some other cohorts might have 6. This upcoming cohort is going to have 5. So as we continue to refine and evolve and experiment with cohorts, that question is going to have different answers. So we'll love to hear the alumni's thoughts on that.
I think like Andy mentioned before, sometimes, especially if you're working full time, you might have to pick about which one you're following with and doing all the homework or like on at the same time, because like Andy said, you sometimes go back to it and kind of repeat stuff just for your own learning. I would say with me, I worked full time at the time. I did cohort 2, which I think had 5 modules, and I felt like for half of them I'd be doing stuff like from each kind of class to another. And that definitely like kept me busy, but at the same time I think it was like just the right amount of busy, because it just made me like sit down and do it, because done is better than perfect, and that it was definitely like a busy time. Like my friends did not see me mostly for the 12 weeks, but after that, it's just like a good pace, and also you can really slow down, like, and not do all of them. Do the ones that you feel are most relevant, and then go back as you can. It's really like nobody also like has this expectation on you. If you show up like 6 weeks later with task from week one, nobody will like shame you into what have you been doing. It's really like all up to you, and yeah, but it can definitely get intense, so bear that in mind.
Yeah, when they say 12-week intensive industrial design program, that's exactly what it is. It is very intense, but like it's not graded, it's not like anything like that. Nothing is penalizing you. It's just for you. So you can take however much time you want to spend on whichever homework. So it's really all up to you. And yeah, nobody's gonna like, bash you if you're doing like homework from 2 weeks ago and then you're bringing it up and getting feedback on it. Like you can bring it up whenever, which is super awesome. So yeah.
So if I wanted to talk about just cohort 2, the 6 classes that we had, I would like to talk about the case by case. So you would have some overall thoughts about the overall look, how it looks. So for instance, we had the design discourse with Spencer. You don't need to do any homework for that, but as long as you're present and as long as you're part of the discussion, because it's very discussion heavy and it's pretty awesome classes, because it's going to shake things up about how you think about the design and your methodology, your attitude, or it's very, very philosophical classes, and so good to have that. So you're not gonna, he doesn't expect you to do any homework. Or other classes like visualization with Jack and Tyler, or with Kelly's class about the real world sketching, you pretty much have homework every week. Or with a class with Michael, you have the homework every 2 weeks. So 1 week is a discussion, 1 week is this lecture, and then the next week he's going to ask about the couple of deliverables based on the lecture that he had. Then the next week, it's going to repeat it again. So it's a bi-weekly. Or for Kat's class about the professional presentation, you're not going to do much of homework because it's focused on your portfolio. So she's going to give you a couple of fundamentals and walk you through all of the basics that you need to understand about your portfolio before kicking off the revamping the project, which has happened after a half of the class. So first 6 weeks, it's going to be basics, and then from the 6 weeks later, you're going to start like a revamping and doing the homeworks for Kat's class. So I just wanted to give you the very brief description of what you would expect to do if you wanted to do all of them or any of them.
Yeah, those are great answers. The courses are going to be offered. Some of them are more lecture based. So like Amir said, you won't have assignments, but you will be encouraged to be, engaging in conversation. And then some of the other courses might be more skill set based. So like the product viz, the sketching course, obviously that requires, to be honest, repetition, right? The more you do it, the better you get at it. Practice, practice, practice. So then you'll have assignments. So it varies. And so those are all very great answers. Hopefully that answered your question. Awesome. So one thing I wanted to share with you all, with how things function here with Offsite. So I know that we have our alumni. We have a lot of things in place to help you succeed. And this is all great because we've been doing it. This is our third year, our incoming third year doing offsite. But can you imagine the very first cohort literally had no one and nobody? So we're in a much better place. We've done this so many times that we know, the things that needed improvement, we improved them. We have this small group, an internal group called the Experience Team, and it is a group of about 3 to 4 people on our team. They're like administrators. We're designers, and our job is essentially to be a fly on the wall. So we attend the courses. So whenever you attend the courses, there's going to be at least 1 or 2 people from the Experience Team also in that class, and their job is to make sure that the instructor is running things smoothly. If the instructor needs any help or assistance, they're there to help them, and that means anything from tech, presentation stuff, or even just engaging with the students. They're also there to help you, right? So their main purpose and priority is you. So if you have any concerns, if you have any ideas of how to evolve the class or any ideas of how to make the program better, our job is to listen to you, to take that information and integrate it into the program as soon as possible. And essentially, it's like customer service for design education. And our job is to essentially make your experience 100 times better. Because if we want to disrupt education, if we want to make this content better, all of you here have the answers to that as you take these courses. So we got to be investing in you and paying attention to your thoughts and your concerns and your suggestions and ideas. So that for me is my favorite part of Offsite, this experience team that really doesn't exist anywhere else but our program. I really wish that something like this existed when I was in university, because I had a lot of concerns and frustrations, and I just wish someone was there to listen to me. But we made that, and hopefully that's going to make your experience 1,000 times better. So any questions, any other questions? I know we still have Graham here, who's Graham, you've been following us and been part of what we do for quite some time, so kind of excited for you to be here.
Sorry, my AC just turned on and it's super loud, so I'm relocating.
Okay.
But no, yeah, thank you for having this Q&A session. This has been super informative. I've been kind of following advanced design for a while, and you guys have been doing great stuff. So it's been good to learn about the program. And I guess most of my questions have been answered initially. Is just how to do this with work and what the cohorts like and all that stuff. So this has been great. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Hector,
yeah.
One last thing that I think it's worth to mention, because we forgot about it's the studio based. So I really enjoyed the in-studio time that we had, like me and Ruta or Andy. We always like to jump on the studio and just discuss a lot of things. The studio gives you the ability to just, if you have any question or difficulties of any of the process or any of the homeworks, or even after you graduated, like if you want to discuss anything, like you can shoot a message, and pretty much every time there are a couple of people that are going to join you, and if they have the skill set to just help you with whatever they have a difficulty with, they're going to walk you through and help you with that. And definitely, so having this community and the studio, like this is one of the other benefits that I really enjoyed, and I'm still using it a lot.
Yeah, thank you so much, Amir. That is spot on. I'm actually going to share my screen just to give you a snippet of what this online community looks like. I know we've talked about it a lot, but it just makes sense to show you. We're visual creatures, so let me show you. So welcome to our Slack. our Slack is like I said, it is our online community. This is where all of our community happens. So it was created for multiple reasons. When you're in class, some of our instructors use Slack to create activities, to create engagement. Some instructors don't use it. Maybe they might use it after the fact. I know. So let me give you some context here. Every cohort is going to have your own Slack channel. So this is summer 2022 cohort number 1, and all of the classes are here, right? And so every instructor has a Slack channel, and every instructor posts, they post content related to their class. There's a support channel, there's a channel for announcements. I'm going to show you my channel. So in core number 1, I teach the sketching course. So we're always putting examples here. I do demos, so I put a demo where I give students quick feedback, things like that. And it's a perfect, we use Slack as a great way to drop information so that the instructors are giving you instant feedback versus like email, which will take forever if you're trying to go back and forth. This is a little more active. This is more hands-on, a little more organic. As you can tell, my channel is always popping just because it's a class that really requires that. And every instructor has a channel. I'm going to go to cohort number 2 for this past summer of 2022. So again, here's the business channel, right? So this is Michael DiTullo's class. Michael is great at using GIFs and, being super funny. Here's Spencer's class, the discourse class. And again, everything is related to the content that he teaches. He might remind students about assignments. And here's Dom's manufacturing class. And everyone shares. It's an open forum for you to share, right? So here's all the class channels. So this is a serious part of Slack. This is where you learn and this is where you engage. Now, this is a fun part of Slack where we have a community. So this is what Amir was talking about, having a studio channel. And so if we go to channels over here, there's a studio channel. So the studio channel essentially is equivalent to your studio when you were in school, where you would have a big space and students would be there kind of creating community, creating, just sisterhood, brotherhood, just being awesome with each other. And obviously we can't do that because we're based from all over the world. But so we did it virtually. And so this studio channel is super, super open forum. It has full autonomy. People can do whatever they want with it. People jump on here to get feedback for their portfolio. People jump on here if they want to discuss something. People jump on here if they're just working on individual projects and they just want some companionship, and people are kind of just working. A lot of students like Amir tend to play, music in the background and everyone's working. And it's just a really awesome space for people to be themselves and share secrets and share, just encourage each other to really succeed. There's other channels here. We've had competitions with companies. That's what this is right here. We have a channel for career development. We have a channel for all of our commencements. Here's our experience. So here's our support channel for the experience team. We have a channel where we just talk about pets. And everyone just puts pictures of their loved ones here. If you have any pets, we have a channel for our conference. And so this is our conference that happened. We have a bunch of other channels, and we have, game night. So some students create just nights where they just want to hang out and do online games with each other. They post silly stuff. Again, here's a channel where people post things about jobs, things that are happening. And the great thing about this is that it's not us posting, it is everyone posting, because everyone here is from around the world. So opportunities happen everywhere, and it would just be impossible for us to control and kind of curate this for everyone. That's just impossible. So all of this is open. This is what our Slack looks like. It is full of information. There's some private channels here that you're probably seeing. Like we have a mentor Slack channel, and that's where your mentors are going to be at, but we communicate with them and we kind of help them. And then we also have these other private channels that the alumni here are like, what the heck is that? But those are my private channels where we created a channel specifically for time zones. So if you are in, like, let's say the Philippines, if you're in that part of the world, you actually have your own channel and you get to communicate with people in that time zone. So if you ever want to meet up, it's actually kind of cool that you can do that. We have a channel for people on the West Coast here in the United States. So people in California, Seattle, and it is quite interesting. How funny people are actually closer than we think. So we've had a lot of people just organically meet up and kind of meet in person because we're all online, and it sometimes, especially when COVID was raging, the first 2 years of Offsite, it was just impossible for you to meet other people. And now people are kind of coming out of that bubble, that shell, and it's been great because people are meeting each other everywhere, as you can tell. And then they're taking selfies and like, hey, we're real people. Like, it's cool. So yeah, it is really cool. And as Amir was talking about this, it was just easier to show you how amazing this community is, and how it's just amplified by everyone participating. And again, as of right now, we have about 350 alumni in those channels. So not only will you have access to the program, you have access to support from us, but you also have access to all these alumni who are willing to help you because they've gone through the program and they can assist you and share their experiences. Yes, all of our design secrets.
I think something to add as well. For me, like, I graduated from Iowa State in 2021, and then I immediately moved to the West Coast. I was in Iowa, and there's not a lot of opportunity there, to be honest with you. And so once I graduated, I didn't know what the heck I was supposed to do, where I was supposed to go, how I was supposed to find a job. My portfolio was not very great, if I'm being totally honest, but again, trying to finish school during a pandemic and doing everything online and being burnt out, it's not fun. So finding Offsite, like, one of my friends who was in my graduating class, he did it, and I saw the stuff that he was doing, and I was like, oh, this is super cool. What is this? And then I was kind of at a point where I was like, okay, I don't have any direction. I've been trying to find jobs for like a year now. Okay, what's going wrong? And you couldn't figure out what was going wrong because nobody, when you're applying to jobs, tells you. So this community, this whole thing that Hector has built, they tell you what you need to do, what you need to fix. And you also have a mentor, and everyone's a working professional at different levels. So there's always someone that you can talk to that's like at the same level as you or above, where whatever question you have, there's someone in the same boat as you. So you don't feel so alone, which was super, super helpful.
Yeah, that's thanks for sharing that. That's awesome. And I think one thing that we haven't even mentioned, and I would love to hear the alumni, their thoughts on this, is I currently teach in an institution. I currently teach in academia, so I'm a professor of design. And that life is just completely different from this education life that we're creating here with Offsite. The one thing that I just cannot get enough of when it comes to Offsite is how there is just so much support. There's almost little competition in Offsite within each other. There's so much uplifting. Everyone is helping each other. Like I said, there's really no design secrets, and when I teach in the institution, that's my full-time job. Students are so competitive, very isolated. They don't want to share their methods or their processes, and it actually creates hostility, and sometimes just it doesn't create growth. It doesn't create evolution. And in Offsite, everyone is extremely open, and so helpful. If someone has a question, you get 3 or 4 answers, etc. And I would love to hear I would love to hear from the alumni how that has helped you, because everyone is always coming to your aid at some point. I think someone mentioned it. There are no grades in offsite. There's no attendance. Why? Because we're all adults here and we know what everyone here is invested in this. So you know what you need to get out of it. But essentially, our marker for success is you breaking into industry, or everyone here has a goal, whether it be getting that promotion or, going from engineering to industrial design. So everyone, whatever your goal is, and if we can help you achieve it, that is our marker for success. And yes, that is a big goal to have, but it is the best goal. Like, we wouldn't want it any other way. A lot of students are still working, right? As we all know, industrial design is not easy. But there's 400 or so people that have your back. So it is not impossible. But I'd love to hear the alumni talk a little bit about how uplifting this community is, because there's just so much sharing back and forth.
I can start off. One of the things that I really appreciated about Offsite is the mentorship program. My mentor and I, we're still talking until now. Like, we vibe super hard. I love her with all my heart. We still catch up and talk every now and then. And then Offsite also did a big buddy mentorship program with Cohort 1. Last cohort, I think. So, we got paired up with someone from Cohort 1 who's trying to get into the whole like design shtick, because it's kind of overwhelming when you're going in like head first, right? So it was really nice that Advanced Design was able to like come up with a space and community that could help other people, which was something that really got me like a bit caught me off guard at the start, because it's like you're so used to like what Hector mentioned, the hostility, right? Like everyone trying to be like, oh, this one's mine, like go over there, this is our line, you can't cross, right? Kind of thing. That's more or less the culture that you're so used to growing up. But then here, like I remember I was chilling on studio waiting for class to start, because like it's like 4 in the morning and you're like, I need to stay awake. So like a bunch of us were just in studio together, like, especially the kids from India and someone also from Italy. We were just all chilling there. And then one of the alumni, Chris, hops on and we were just talking. And I ended up like, it was my first time out like meeting him ever. And then I asked him a question about something that I was like a field that I was looking into. And he just gave me like a long list of people to look at for inspiration or people to talk to. And I'm just like, bro, we literally just met, but like I love this energy. Like, this is great. And it's not just the 400 plus people that we're talking about when it comes to the community, because like everyone knows someone who knows someone who knows someone, right? And the really amazing thing about this place is that we're not gatekeepy. Like the amount of people that we got to meet just by asking, like, hey, do you know this person? Is it okay if like you introduce me to them? Like I want to ask them about XYZ. And then like one of my good friends now I met through Hector. So it's just a connection that keeps growing and a network that just keeps going, and just a community that really wants to see each other succeed. And it's just really heartwarming to be a part of.
Totally, yeah, and that's also like it doesn't finish with the course as well, which is really nice. I remember after like our cohort finished and we had a meeting with Hector, and he's just so everyone's like super aware, because I think like you're so used, like you don't assume that like these people that you've paid for a course for a few weeks are gonna like keep on encouraging you to do better. So, and it was like very much like keep in touch, like and a few like months after I finished, Hector and I met like well in the virtual, like to look through my portfolio. He gave me kind of ideas about like what to do next. So yeah, it's like it just like never ends. It's great.
It definitely never ends. I've met Rachel in person in Seattle this past fall. Andy, we've had so many late night talks and even spent a good month probably watching a TV show online. It had nothing to do with Offsite. We were just watching it, and then we would like, because we have the same interest, and it's just, that's how it happens. You end up building these friendships and everyone is just helping each other, and it's awesome. So even when you are done with your cohort, you're not really done. So that's the magical part about Offsite. We have a question here.
Yeah, so I actually have to hop off very soon, but I did have a few more questions I wanted to ask. A quick one is, are classes scheduled in like the nighttime of CST, in the mornings? You're muted.
Oops, sorry. That is a great question. Because you're interested in cohort number one, I'm going to go ahead and answer that for you. Every cohort has the schedule is slightly different, not by a lot. We're in the process of releasing our schedule for this upcoming cohort very, very soon, most likely next week. But for cohort number one, the courses usually happen afternoonish and morning. So it happens during daytime. And you said you were based in San Francisco?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Yeah. So if they happen, let's say they happen late morning, 11 a.m., so 2 hours. So it would be like around morning for you, like 9 a.m., things like that. Yeah. So cohort number one usually has earlier scheduling. Cohort number two usually has it's a little scattered. It's like late afternoons up until the evening.
Yeah, and I was wondering about, I feel like I'm kind of in between cohort 1 and 2, so how does that kind of work in terms of which classes I would take, or if there's a choice there?
That is a fantastic question that hasn't been asked, but I'm really happy that you answered it, because I feel like some students here of our alumni might have experienced it. I think Ruda, I think you did. Yep. Where because our organization is extremely fluid, and we want to make sure that we give you the best education. Like you said, you might be in between cohorts, so we actually make a specialized course list for you so that you can benefit from both cohorts. So like with Ruda, she was in the same kind of circumstance where she was somewhere in the middle, so we created a special course list of both courses, and that really helped her schedule and her curriculum. So that's what we would do. So you and I would probably sit down sometime later after you get into the program, and then we would then customize the courses to best fit you.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. Thank you.
That's a fantastic question. That's great. And that's actually something that we haven't publicized just yet, just because customizing courses, can you imagine like the hundreds of people that apply to Offsite? So customizing the courses to that many people is a little too complex for us right now. And for the last year, we've been working and trying to do our best to see how to then approach that. But on an individual basis, we would be more than happy to help you there. Well, if you don't have any other questions, again, we're going to continue doing this. This isn't the first time that we'll have a Q&A. We'll probably have a more casual one on Instagram. We'll switch things up. There's going to be more marketing stuff that you'll see. But it was great to see everyone. It was great to meet you all if I haven't met you already. Alumni, thank you so much for your time. It's always a pleasure to see your wonderful faces, and thank you for sharing your experiences. I'm gonna leave my email here if you already don't have it, but should you have any questions in regards anything, I love meeting with people and to kind of share what we do and get you excited. So feel free to shoot me an email. Be more than happy to meet with you one-on-one and continue the conversation. Like I said, this is being recorded, and we'll put it up on our YouTube and share the link on social media for people to benefit for those who didn't show up. So thank you. Have a wonderful Friday morning, Friday evening, Saturday morning for some of you. And we'll talk to you very soon. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good
Bye.
one.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Nice meeting y'all.
You too.